How are you all? I'm just having a few technical problems. That's me though. And I will just wait a few minutes to see if anyone wants to join in. I apologise in advance. I'm not very good at technology. Right. Now just put some music on in the background. Feel free to do that too if you like. If you want to bring along any crystals that you're working with currently, or anoint yourself with any oils. Just get yourself ready, and I'm going to introduce you how I would have you all in a class. I'll just check with Tash that I'm okay in my technology. You might like to light a candle as well. And as I said, if you're working with favourite crystals at all, you can bring those along to enjoy the experience with you. Okay? Now for me today, I'm working with rose oil. So third eye, crown, and behind the right ear on that hard bone, which connects to your vagus nerve. Okay? Your vagus nerve actually starts behind that right ear and runs right through your body and connects to all major organs. So it's just a little tip with your oils. Just pop them there, and you can actually run the oil line down to your collarbone, and that will kickstart if you've got anything that's not quite 100% within your body, in your physical body. Okay. Keeps telling me I have low vision, but I'm not going to try and change it because I'll probably kick myself off here. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to offer acknowledgement to elders past, present, and emerging on the Yuan land where I live, work, and stand currently. I'd like to thank the Yuan Nation for allowing me to learn from them and continue that learning and growth. So first of all, I'm going to give you a clearing today for how we start our workshop with Angelic Reiki. All right, so first of all, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Angelic Reiki, because you hear the word Reiki and people just go, okay, that's Reiki. Yes, some of the symbols are used in Angelic Reiki that are used in traditional Reiki, but they're used on a much higher frequency. Excuse me. Angelic Reiki is an ascension tool that was channeled through Kevin Core, who lived in England in around 2005. He was then he took it around to a couple of countries, and then he was instructed to move to Luxor in Egypt, where my master teacher went and learnt from him. over 4 months. He stayed in Egypt and then brought it back to Australia. He lived on the south coast of New South Wales, where I live, and that's why it has quite an abundance of teachers here and practitioners. It's gone out a little bit around the country, not too many still, but I believe now it is more of a calling than something that is like kind of for everyone. I think the angels call you, or you find the right reason to come along and learn. Okay, and of course there's 2 levels of classes, level 1 and 2, which then you can go and become a practitioner and offer healing to your friends, family and public. After a little bit of work, you'll be quite confident with it. And then later on there's the master's training, which obviously helps you to go and to teach. I have been the longest ongoing teacher in Australia, so been teaching for about 13 years. So you can see it's not a very old modality at this stage, all right? So I heard somebody say something the other day and I really liked it, and they said angelic healing basically is the explanation is that the angels connect the 3 energies. So the angel steps in, connects you, the healer, with the client or the person having the healing, and takes you basically close to God. And the possibilities are endless, of course. So it's quite an emotional experience. And I remember when I learnt, when we did this clearing that I'm going to do for you, I actually cried a lot because I felt that I had done this before in another time. Some of the methods of healing that we learn are to work multidimensionally with the Ascended Masters, with the Galactic Healers, and we learn to do a lot of remote healing, which I love. It's probably the most powerful for me. And we learn to do healing on ourselves, our animals and children and mothers to be. That's all taught individually within the workshops. So okay, so I am going to. You also are attuned with a crystal. On the last day, you attuned with a usually a clear quartz. But I had to be the rebel, and I searched high and low until I found a smoky, and smoky is probably my favourite type of crystal. I've got them everywhere, and I kind of understand now why, because I'm a very off the planet kind of person, and smoky is the thing that keeps me grounded. Now this, the crystal that you choose your own crystal and bring it along to class, it comes to you in all the training that you do with me, and it takes on the characters and expansion of you. All right, so you can you'll learn to work with that crystal and expand your energy out. For instance, if you're talking in a group or teaching with a big group of people. As you can see, mine's got a lot of work going on inside it. And it changes all the time. It changes with you. When I first got this crystal, it was clear, absolutely magnificent crystal. In fact, the man that owned it didn't want to share it with me. And if you look really hard, and if you were here, you would see that it has actually some little angels inside it. So the crystal continues to grow, as you know crystals do. They all have a diva connected to them, and they will continue to grow and expand the same way we do. And I know some of the my students, a couple, have left the planet, and their crystal has gone with them, or sometimes they stay behind. But anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open the space, and then I'll give you some tips and tricks to use yourself for your own growth, really. So I'd just like you to sit quietly. You can place your hands in your lap. You may have some music on in the background if you like. I can't hear it, so that's fine. I just had to be careful what I had on, because apparently Facebook can shut me out if my music's too loud because I don't have permission or something. But it's classical, so all right. So if you'd like to just take a couple of deep breaths in. And just relax, put your feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap facing upward. I call in the planetary and cosmic spiritual hierarchy to establish and activate a gigantic ascension column in the room. I ask that it be connected to a gigantic pillar of light and to this group's planetary and cosmic antakarana, the tube of light that connects us with our monad and God. I ask that the pillar of light contain the white flame of ascension and that it be connected to the ascension flame in the temple of Luxor. I call forth the Melchizedek, the Mahatma, and Metatron to bring down the platinum net through the entire group, the room, and this building. Platinum is the highest frequency color known to Earth. The only higher frequency is the clear light of God, which has no color. The platinum net will clear this group, this room, and this building of all negative and imbalanced energies on all levels. I now call again to the planetary and cosmic hierarchy for a planetary and cosmic external alignment. This will balance all meridians of each individual and instantly align the group energy with God and the consciousness of the spiritual hierarchy on all levels. I call for the spiritual hierarchy and inner plane ascended masters to anchor and activate the golden white ascension flame. You will instantly feel and even see this energy coming in now. I now call for the entire spiritual and cosmic hierarchy to join this workshop. I ask that the appropriate master step forward to overlight the workshop. I have invited in tonight Archangel Michael, and Saint Germain to join us today. I will now recite the soul mantra, which is a really powerful invocation and tool that you can use at any time when you feel like you need a little clearing, or just to connect you again with your guides even more clearly. All right. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. I am the monad. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. I will now call on Archangel Michael and his legion of angels to create a golden dome of protection for the group and for all of you. Archangel Michael serves on the first ray, and his specific function is to provide protection. You may see that golden dome over your home, your room that you're sitting in, or over yourself. Just you'll learn to work with it more the more you use it, and you'll start to feel Michael's presence. For me, he makes me feel quite big, quite tall, looking down on myself in a way. I'll now call in the great invocation. This is the short version, which has been around for a very long time, from the early days of spiritualism in the world. So From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the centre where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the centre which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Amen. Okay, so that's just the initial clearing before we have a cleansing for level 1 and 2. So as you can see, there's a lot of quite ancient philosophy and structure comes into Angelic Reiki classes. If you were sitting in the room, you would feel the energy start to expand and shift. Perhaps you are feeling that where you are. Anyway, I will talk a little bit more about Archangel Michael and his connection and protection that he offers to us all. He has really come into his presence at this current time on the planet and offers us protection in whatever way. Of course, lighting a candle, which I have done and said that you could also do. Angels are drawn to candlelight. So if you really want to meditate and call in the angels, just light a candle. In class, I would normally use probably 9-hour tea lights and let them burn down and burn out. I have a large candle on that I lit this morning at 4 o'clock, and I will let that burn all night if it has to, and that's for the passing of our monarch. So yeah, so it's just an honouring. If you need to blow them out, just do it in a gentle way and with acknowledgement. Everything is about your intention, how you work with energy, and of course everything is energy, and it's your intention. If this is what you want for something to happen for you, then there's no right or wrong. It's just the way you do it. Okay. So I just wanted to give you some tips, some more tips. I remember the first time working with Archangel Michael, I had walked out of where I was working, and I had to go to the car park in the dark on my own. And I was a bit chicken because it was a bit of a walk, and there was no one around, and it had been raining, and it was winter. So I wasn't really looking forward to doing that. And I walked outside and I went, oh, I'm a little scared. And I just said to God, please, God, protect me. And next thing I felt this like big wings wrap around me, and I felt really tall, like I said before, looking down on my body. And I knew I was going to be all right. Now, that was way before I got into, learning about spiritual things. It was just like, I went, oh, that's pretty cool. And, it was years later that I actually understood that was Archangel Michael. And he's come in many times since. So I wanted to also share with you just a few simple tips. If you know me and come into my classes, my thing, if you like, is I want students to leave comfortable and with all their questions answered. So I teach very simply I bring it back to as basic as I can so that you're confident when you leave and go home and offer healings to, probably first, if you're anything like me, your animals. I think I had the most healed cats in the country before I started to practice on human beings. On saying that, I was never going to teach. My healing and searching, if you like, seeking, was for myself. If you read my chapter, I had lupus, and the damage left behind from lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. So it's more damage from rheumatoid, I believe now, that the lupus has died and left the body, and for that I'm very grateful. But in those years, early years of terrible pain and lots of medication from doctors, I knew there had to be another way. So I started looking. I learnt Yusui to the master level and Seishim, but I never taught. And I still went to spiritual groups, which I recommend people do if you're starting out. Join a circle and get together with a few friends. Do what works for you to start you on your quest for knowledge, if you like, because it is all about knowledge and going within. So over time, I've developed simple tips to activate chakras and give them a cleanse and protect yourself and your home. As I said, I've just called in Michael, so the easiest way to call him in is Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Michael. Power of 3, always in threes, and then ask for what you need help with. Please protect me in this current situation that I'm in. So what I developed years ago, it's another old learned something from, I can't even remember where now, probably came just to me, what maybe you'd call it channeling, I don't know, but a nice one to do to protect your home and your house and yourself. I would lay in bed at night and I would ask the 4 archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel and Uriel, to stand on all 4 corners of my bed, all 4 corners of the room, all 4 corners of the home, all 4 corners of the land, and then connect their energy in golden light and form a golden pyramid above that space. Okay, and to protect everything within that land, well, your block of land or your farm or whatever, it doesn't matter how big or small. And this, and then you can ask them to leave it permanent rather than having to do it every night, which is what I did for a long time. All right, so that is just a simple thing for you to offer protection. And remember, your intention is that you will be protected by the 4 mighty archangels in your home, in your family, your animals, everybody within that space that you're protecting. All right, it's just a simple thing to do, but it works. I can tell you it works because when I moved house, I hadn't done it and I had a break-in, so that was good. And I was in the house at the time, so I never stopped doing it again. All right, so that's your pyramid of protection, golden light over your home and even just your room, if you like. So other simple things to do. You can grid your house with crystals. If you do work with crystals, of course, good ones to use are black stones for protection. But I have a big tourmaline at the front door. Another one to use would be selenite. A selenite works with the light, so you just put one in all 4 corners of your property. Inside your house. Selenite, of course, is water soluble, so putting it outside is not the best thing to do. A couple of things I do personally. I've got a big rose quartz crystal, just a rough quartz, that not a polished, that sits in my my cat's water bowl. I've done it for years and years and years because rose quartz is from the heart for love. And I kind of guess my animals are all probably a bit of healers, and they've connected to the energy within the home. I just think it's a nice thing to offer them love in a simple way. Of course, it's got to be a fairly big piece. So if you've got a big dog, you're going to have to get your hands on a big chunk. As I said, not polished, rough. And if you go to lapidary fairs and things like that, you can usually pick them up at a lot cheaper price. If you think your dog's going to try and dig it out and play with it, don't do it. You don't want them, So, and of course, with a big dog, it has to be a big piece of rose quartz. So, just something else I do. But if you've ever read Dr. Emoto's book on the energy of water, You can also write the word love on the outside and face it into the water, and they're going to get a higher vibration water when they drink as well. So same thing, just a different technique. Okay. Classical music is one of my things because, and if you've got small children, having a time in your home, even if it's early in the morning, playing some classical music. Classical music vibrates at fifth dimensional energy. So it just helps them expand at a young age their mind, and also helps us to shift our consciousness more into 5D. And of course, that's the kind of the place and what everybody's currently talking about, moving out of 3D into 5. I'll talk more about that in a moment. See, all these little tips and tricks I'm giving you are to shift your energy, your vibration upward. Okay, my kind of fun one that I started doing years ago to clear your chakras. If you were here with me, I'd put you on a therapy table and run a pendulum over your chakras and see how they're going and what's working, what's not. But you can check yourself. So when you get in the shower in the morning, sing the scales. Oh, well, I've got a bit of a voice today, but okay, so it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do's a bit, So if they're a bit out, or you can't get it to be a clear note, then that chakra needs a little bit of work, okay? So just do it over and over in the shower. It's kind of good for me because I live alone, but yeah, if you sing in the shower anyway, just sing the scales, because the scales are each note of the scales vibrates at each one of your chakras. All right. So it's a simple thing to do, and as I said, if one of your chakras is out, or more than one, you will know which one to work with. And then, of course, say for instance it was your base chakra. Do, 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 for as long as you had to clear it. If it doesn't clear, wear red. Or, wear red, eat red. It's as basic as that, isn't it? That's really basic chakra stuff. Of course, now we're opening up many more chakras than our original 7, below and above. But that will happen naturally. I don't think we need to force it. Oils, of course, in the base of the shower. When you get in the shower, I have eucalyptus oil in the shower every day. Eucalyptus being, it works the same way as grandfather sage. Some people believe, and I'm inclined to accept this, Northern Hemisphere uses grandfather sage, Southern Hemisphere or Australia, we use what's native to us, and that is eucalyptus. So I just throw it in the shower before I get in, and the steam brings that oil up, and you inhale it, and that also cleanses your aura and your energy. And yeah, you can start your day with a bit of a chakra shower if you like. Reading is another thing, if you want to gain knowledge, try and read some of the old classics. For me, I suppose, the first spiritual books I read were actually Florence Scovel Shinn, and that was Your Word is Your Wand. And it's basically what you speak, you create, and that was written in 1928. And of course, a lot of, Louise Hay, etc., all talk about the same things, doing affirmations, journaling. So look, you find your own way to get your knowledge. I suppose I've been on this path my whole life, and but still have times when I soak up new information like a sponge, and then integrate that, and then move on again to if I'm meant to learn some more. In the book, you'll understand that I had a near-death experience about 7 years ago now, and that was I'd already started working with the galactic beings, but at first that was very much digging my heels in, didn't want to, and but then they started to come closer and stand on the other side of the healing, the therapy tables when I had somebody on the table, and the heart love that you feel from the ascended masters and the galactic beings is even hard to explain as love that we know. I call it heart exploding love, but it draws you, like brings you to your knees in most cases. So after being in ICU for a few weeks, and Lord Ashtar came in and taught me and showed me, and some of these things are his, and he says keep it simple, which of course is like, it is simple. And the further along we get on our spiritual journey, the more we tend to drop all of that learning that we've had, because it all is within you. And what Angelic Reiki, I suppose, did for me, and I know it has for some of that I've taught, is it brings me back our remembering. All right, so that we have done this in other times, in other places. I do remember the first time I started making oil blends up, and I'm, got a bowl on the table and crystals all around and doing my thing, and I went straight back to a time as an oily, what they would have classed a witch, and my black cat that was with me until last year, she was there too. And I've always known that her and I had a special connection. So she's my familial, and has come back at different times to help me reconnect with, what I'm meant to be here to do, which is what Warriors of the Light, the book, is trying to, explaining to you from, 20 authors' points of view, but know that we've all got knowledge and information and knowing to share. It's just in whatever way we are meant to do it, or we're comfortable to do it, or we're nudged to do it. In my case, technology and I just don't cut it really well. And I've actually been toying with the idea of going off social media altogether. So I have got a website now, and find that I will possibly go off social media next year. We'll just see how we go. But everybody's teachings and what they are meant to teach work individually, and what's right for you. Angelic Reiki is not taught online, so that's another probably a hard thing to do, but it's taught in a class group of a minimum of 2 students, and when you do sit in a class, you will understand why. You could come and do a class this month and then come back next month. And I have got students that do that. If they bring in a new crystal, they want to come and have it attuned. And the energy is different, because the energy is different because time has changed, because the people in the group are different, because your energy has shifted. You might have brought along new crystals, and of course they've got their own energy. You're working with different guides and masters, and of course your family, and your I'm trying to think of the name now. That's all right. All your family ancestors are all here with you as well. So as you can understand, the energy of a class is different every time, and that doesn't really transmute very well online. So we are still unable to teach online, and at first I was a little frustrated with that, but now I'm fine with it. So currently I've got a class coming up the end of October, and it's on the south coast of New South Wales where I live. But I do travel occasionally, but not as often as I used to. I'm not as young as I used to be. Plus, I usually take 50 kilos plus of crystals and manuals and everything else that go along. So it's bit of a journey of luggage, really. So okay, I wanted to, as you probably know, as I said, I work with the Galactics, and a few years ago I started working with the skulls. And Denali wanted to come and say hello. So I'm just going to lift her up so that she can just sit here. Hello. So, okay, so Janali. Janali is a golden healer skull. She comes from Sedona in America, and she is an imprint Einstein skull. All right, so Einstein is one of the powerful human-sized skulls that were discovered, and he integrates and shares knowledge and lifts people's vibration around the world. And I feel very blessed that I could get her to Australia, because postage from America is quite a lot these days. It's actually probably more than the price of the skulls. So she comes in and talks from time to time. In class, she brings in new information. I will be teaching Crystal Skull 1 day and 2 day events in the new year. I've got a couple of new skulls coming to join, and we have to connect up first and integrate my energy with theirs. And then as the information they share comes forward, we'll start to hold some group classes. The energy and the information that they share is usually from different planetary systems. And to think that I would be even working with, galactic and stellar information is kind of crazy in my head. So, what else do I need to teach you? If you've got questions, please, I can't see them at the moment, so you can just connect with me, send me a message on Messenger, Veronica Rawlinson, or my website is www.veronicarawlinson.com. And there is a class, and you can also book in for a one-on-one remote healing. And in those, you will be given any information that comes forward for you, and that would include what crystals, what oils, what skull energy might come through. Sometimes some past life things come up that need to be addressed. So it's the healings are different for everybody. It doesn't matter where you are in time and space. It's just a lovely way to connect. I'll send you a big message the next day after we've done the healing, and send you through any information that I have for you. So that's one thing with Angelic Reiki. A healing continues for up to 28 days. So it integrates and brings things to the surface that need to be healed. So sometimes it can get a little messy. I always say to people to drink lots of water. And of course, that's another thing, like water, your intention with your water. Drink as pure water as you can get your hands on. But if you can't, you just wrap your hands around the glass and send intention to that glass of water that you want it to be pure and from source, from love. Okay, because it really is all only about love. At the end of the day, you can sit in two vibrations, fear or love. All right, so choose love. We're working now through the higher heart. The higher heart, of course, is our new anchor as we shift vibration from 3D and 4D into 5D and beyond. Okay, of course. Currently, many of us are still in 3D because we have to be. We've still got a practical life every day to run, pay bills, look at mortgage rates rising, all of those things. We dip our toe in there. But you may find that it feels different if you're out in public. You feel like you're walking through somewhere, but you actually don't see things going on around you. That's because you no longer vibrate at that 3D level as much as you used to. And I'm sure you all would all feel that your life and your energy is nothing like it was a few years ago. Even this year, this year has been a very intense one. Lots of people choosing to leave the planet. Lots of people have lost loved ones. beloved family, friends, and even their pets. A part of what that I believe that is because we need to break our hearts over and over. All right, so because your heart breaks, and if any of you have lost a parent, or a partner, that's just you don't think you'll ever recover, but slowly but surely you do, and then you get on with living. But we kind of shut our hearts down a little bit, and every now and again we have to have that next heartbreak for us to be brought back to our heart and love, because at the end of the day, it is just about love. And the more you can expand your heart, the more you're anchoring that love into the planet, and you're shifting your vibration up 5D and beyond. Okay, so I could talk all night about different dimensions of consciousness, but I won't. We will talk in the new year maybe about, because I used to do a lot of classes on Dragon Reiki and Fairy Reiki and Unicorn Reiki, and they were lots of fun. Unicorn Reiki I taught to a lot of teenagers, which was amazing. One girl went off and wrote a book, and I went, oh my goodness, like she was 14. So I suppose all of us that offer healing are also on a growth trajectory as well. And if we choose to continue to do the work we're meant to do, or if we feel drawn as warriors to step forward and put ourselves out there a little more than we ever did, then that's what this time is about. What was I going to say? I was going to mention the passing of our monarch today. I call her our monarch. Many people love and adore this lady. And if you live in a Commonwealth country, well, then she is our queen. I'm not in the UK, and I feel so many of my friends over there have broken hearts today. When someone of this caliber passes, it is for the collective heart to break. Although a lot of people have a different opinion of the monarchy, and but you've got to go within your heart and feel if you believe some of the stories around or not. For me, I've connected with the Queen for a long, long time, and I saw her heart break when she lost Philip. So there's a broken-hearted lady, a little bit like all of our grandmothers, really, and she's now gone home. She's done her duty. She's done her work of service, which is what, as a spiritual being, we're all here to do, to serve. Okay, so that's just what my thoughts are on that today. And if you're on my Facebook, you'll see lots of pictures of the Queen. I kind of went a bit overboard. So now I will mention the oils again there, because a monarch is a role that's passed down through history, as we know. And the monarch is anointed with oils that are so rare and precious that they're not even available to anyone really anymore. Some, of course, are, and we all know of frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense, oil of the father; myrrh, oil of the mother. They were gifted to Jesus, on his birth, and before his crucifixion, he was anointed with myrrh oil and spikenard. I very much resonate with the oils of these sacred ancient oils, and part of the monarchs taking on through the coronation is they are also anointed, and they go through a whole process that is very is only offered once to a monarch, and then when they go, the next monarch will be gifted that same bit of a I suppose it's to help them shift their vibration very quickly. One thing I did like about the Queen, she used to talk to her diamonds. So she's a crystal talker too. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions or wants to connect with me at some point, but you can, as I said, send a message through my website or on Facebook, and I will get back to you because that's what I do. I'm a Gemini and we're big communicators. So I'm going to let it go now tonight, and lovely to connect with you all. And God bless you all on your journey moving forward. Namaste.